Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your news edition. These are the headlines. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, calls for joining the Pact of the Future and put an end to colonialization during the virtual summit, Global Call for the Summit for the Future. The President of the Republic receives new congratulation messages from leaders of from different countries and international organizations following his re-election for a second term. The date of the start of the new school year is set to the 22nd of September. We will review the preparations in Tipaza, where the educational structures are expecting 209,000 pupils. In Morocco, thousands of people try to force their way to reach the Spanish cities of Ceuta and Melilla, a new migration wave following the social media calls. Welcome back. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, took part this Sunday to the virtual summit, Global Call on the Summit for the Future, co-chaired by the President of the Republic of Namibia, Nangolo Mumba, and the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, since the two countries lead the talks around the Pact for the Future that should be adopted by the leaders of the governments taking part in the summit scheduled for the 22nd and 23rd of September. In his speech, the President of the Republic highlighted the challenges and the dangers facing the people of the world, necessitating to join the United Nations. He also reiterated Algeria's support to the organization.
لا ريب أن عالمنا اليوم يمر بمنعطف مصيري بالغ الخطورة والحساسية من جراء المخاطر المتراكمة لمختلف التحديات الأمنية والتنموية والمناخية التي تواجه شعوبنا ودولنا على حد سواء. فمثل هذه الظروف الاستثنائية تعيد إلى واجهة الأولويات ضرورة إعادة الاعتبار لما يجمعنا ويوحدنا تحت قبة منظمتنا الأممية هذه التي ندعمها دعما مطلقا لأننا نثق تماما وتمام الثقة أنه لا بديل لها ولا غنى عنها.
The President of the Republic affirmed that this meeting should be considered as a crucial step to be taken advantage of to renew our commitments to the principles and values enshrined in the Charter of the United Nations, calling for the summit to be a renewed opportunity in order to find peaceful solutions to the crises and conflicts that overwhelm the international community.
إن قمة المستقبل التي نحن بصدد التحضير لها لا ينبغي أن تكون مجرد حدث عاد أو مناسبة عابرة، بل على العكس من ذلك تماما، فإن هذا الموعد ينبغي توظيفه وتثمينه أولا كمحطة فارقة لتجديد التزامنا الجماعي بالمبادئ والقيم المكرسة في الميثاق الأممي، تلك المبادئ والقيم التي وضعت من أجل صون أمننا الجماعي ونسج ترابط منصف بين بلداننا وإعلاء مصالحنا المشتركة. ثانيا، كفرصة متجددة لاستدراك ما فاتنا من مساع هادفة لبلورة حلول سلمية للأزمات والصراعات.
The head of state affirmed that the summit should be a strong basis to consider the prospects for a better future in the light of a balanced and fair world order.
ثالثا وأخيرا كركيزة صلبة لاستشراف آفاق مستقبل أفضل في ظل منظومة دولية متوازنة وعادلة، منظومة تضمن الأمن والاستقرار والرخاء للجميع، ومنظومة تنهي التهميش الذي طال أمده بحق الدول الإفريقية، ومنظومة تستجيب لاستغاثة الشعوب المضطهدة وتمحي آخر آفات من آفات العقود الغابرة، ألا وهي آفة الهيمنة والاحتلال والاستعمار.
And finally, the President of the Republic called the leaders of the countries of the world to join this noble initiative and join their efforts to materialize the conclusions and the decisions of this summit to preserve the interests of the current and future generations.
أدعو قادة العالم إلى الانضمام إلى هذا المسعى النبيل وإلى حشد جهودنا بغية ترجمة ما ستجتمع عليه قيمنا من مخرجات إلى نتائج فعلية تحفظ مصالح الأجيال القادمة والحالية.
Following his re-election with an absolute majority, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, received a message from the Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, who congratulated the President on the occasion of his re-election for a second term, stressing the continuation of work to strengthen the strategic partnership between Rome and Algiers, reiterating Italy's determination to deepen bilateral cooperation and maintain the ongoing dialogue between the two countries in areas of common interest, particularly on the Middle East, Africa, and Algeria's role in the UN Security Council. The Italian Prime Minister expressed her satisfaction with the development of the African Mattei Plan, hoping that the Desertec agricultural project would contribute to achieving Algeria's food security program. The President of the Republic of Mozambique, Filipe Nyusi, who affirmed that the re-election of the President of the Republic reflects the trust that the Algerian people place in him after the socio-political achievements Algeria has witnessed under his command. He affirmed his will to reinforce the excellent friendship, solidarity and cooperation relations between the two countries. The President of the Republic received a phone call from the former Emir of the State of Qatar, Al-Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani, who congratulated him on his re-election for a second presidential term. The President of the Republic thanked the former Emir of the State of Qatar and his honorable family. The President of the Arab Parliament, Adel bin Abdul Rahman Al-Assoumi, congratulated the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, on his re-election for a second term, a proof of the trust of the Algerian people. He affirmed that the Arab Parliament is confident that the President will continue the development process and achieve more success for the interest of the Algerian people. For his part, the Secretary General of the League of the Arab States, Ahmed Abul Ghait, congratulated the President of the Republic on his re-election, reaffirming the commitment of the League of the Arab States to continue supporting Algeria in its development process. Ahmed Abul Ghait has also hailed the active role of the Algerian diplomacy in supporting the Arab causes, notably the Palestinian cause. And the President of the Islamic Cooperation Organization, Hossein Ibrahim Taha, congratulated the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, for his re-election, affirming that the great experience of the President and his perfect knowledge of the regional and international situations allowed him to lead the Algerian people, especially during this important period, and achieve more progress and prosperity. Assigned by the President of the Republic, the President of the Council of the Nation, Salah Goudil, signed at the headquarters of the Embassy of Peru in Algeria the condolence book following the death of the former Peruvian President Alberto Fujimori. Salah Goudil highlighted the qualities of the late president, who ruled Peru for a decade, marking an important period of the modern history of his country. The Prime Minister Nadir Al-Arbawi attended the celebration ceremony on the occasion of the Mawlid al-Nabawi Sharif at the Great Mosque of Algiers. It was also the occasion for the Prime Minister to award the winners of the prize of the President of the Republic for memorizing the Holy Quran, the Minister of Interior, and Local Authorities and Regional Planning, Brahim Rad, the Minister of Religious Affairs and Waqfs, Youssef Belmehdi, and the Rector of the Great Mosque of Algiers, Sheikh Mohammed Al-Mamoun Al-Qasimi Al-Hasni, attended the ceremony. At the end of the event, the rector of the Great Mosque gave a religious lesson about the story and the journey of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The International Day of Democracy is celebrated by Algeria, being a major principle embodied in its constitutional procedures and depicted by the presidential elections of September 7th. Najah Tayyar with more details.
On this September 15th, Algeria celebrates the International Day of Democracy with the slogan of Peace and Democracy, the voice of ballot box versus the voice of the gun. Under the UN General Assembly Resolution 62 on September 7, 2007, the observance of this concept was established, and in this area, Algeria has made significant progress in recent years. According to specialists, our country has strengthened its democratic credentials. The revision of the constitution on November 1, 2020 has enabled the consolidation of democracy in Algeria and has made it possible to change the modes of the political and economic governance, the balanced separation of powers, the broadening of the scope of citizenship, and the consecration of the autonomy of national political decision-making. The presidential elections held on September 7th align with this vision, and in the opinion of observers, they were held in complete transparency, since the people were free to choose their president, attesting to their determination to complete the process of building the new Algeria, which has borne fruit in a short space of time, despite the difficult challenges it faces. Now more than ever, Algeria has embraced peace and stability and wishes to maintain this life of tranquility.
Another product that is making its way into the international markets, generators for gas turbines. The plant, based in Batna province, is specialized in the manufacture of equipment with complex technology, and it recently exported turbines to Iraq. More details with Anya Bahri.
The Jiyat plant in Eniagut, located in Batna province, has exported electrical equipment to Iraq, an operation made possible thanks to important commercial partnerships on the local and international levels. The cargo consists of a generator for gas turbines with a power of 300 megawatts. This operation is only the beginning of everything we are capable of achieving in terms of exporting electrical equipment. The General Electric Algeria Turbines plant has succeeded thanks to its partners Sonargaz and General Electric Vernova in acquiring the experience and expertise necessary to offer a competitive product on the international market. This operation is part of the implementation of the instructions of the country's high authorities aimed at gradually moving away from dependence on hydrocarbons through the diversification of economic and commercial activities and the valorization of the national product.
نحن في إطار مفاوضات الآن مع عدة شركات في دول.
We are in the negotiation phase with several foreign companies in Asia and Latin America. The negotiations are continuing and we hope to win several markets to launch other export operations.
مفاوضات إيجابية راح تكون عندنا عدة عمليات للتصدير في الأيام المقبلة إن شاء الله.
سونالغاز أخذ على عاتقه رفع حجم الصادرات.
Sonalgas has set itself the objective of increasing its non-hydrocarbon exports through the various subsidiaries under the group, in particular GIAT and SAIG.
الذراع الصناعي للمجمع.
Sonalgas is continuing its strategic programs to increase its exports and support the national integration rate. The group has quickly relaunched major commercial partnerships at the local and international levels, thus demonstrating its economic efficiency in implementing the guidelines of the country's senior authorities. We work at the level of Batna province to support investors by creating a favorable climate for investment in order to allow them to increase their production capacity. This aims to generate wealth and jobs. This is the second export operation to Iraq carried out by the company GIAT in less than 2 years, an operation worth $50 million.
The Ministry of National Education has set the date for the new school year start, which is Sunday, September 22nd. And for that, schools all over the country were under preparation. The example today, in Tipaza province, where 209,000 pupils are to be received. Narjah Tiyar with more details, report by Faria Al-Hamdi.
In anticipation of the school year beginning in few days' time, the authorities in Tipaza province are busy putting the finishing touches to the educational establishment, as well as preparing for the solidarity operations of books distribution, transport and school meals.
Les préparatifs ont commencé déjà vers le mois de janvier, les fêtes.
Preparation has already begun on January, in coordination with all the province's services, of course, to welcome 209,000 students for this new school year, with the participation of nearly 17,000 teachers and administrators spread all over 333 primary schools, in addition to 14 private schools to be operational soon, also 106 middle schools and 55 high schools across the province. Due to the state policies, we are deploying enormous efforts in the preparation of schools in specific areas, such as Damous, Larhat and Bni Milek, which are privileged given their lack in material. We took special care of these schools in these zones. Logistically, they are ready now. School transportation as well as internet following the digitalization are also provided.
All the conditions needed to welcome pupils for the new school year are in place, whether in terms of staffing or facilities or material.
This year, the priority has been given to aid-in programs which directly benefit students. Thank God that allowance of 5,000 dinars is to be given to needy families for rich pupil. It's very helpful for the parents. We've been very well received for registering our children, and the school is well prepared to welcome them. To guarantee a successful start to the new school year, all means were provided, creating a conducive environment to learn in.
In Morocco, thousands of people have tried to force their way toward the Spanish cities of Ceuta and Melilla. Many of them have been arrested while trying to flee the country towards Europe. More details with Daniel Bahri.
An attempt at legal immigration of unprecedented magnitude was thwarted this weekend at the borders of Ceuta and Melilla in response to the proliferation of messages calling for a coordinated assault on land and sea crossings. Appeals massively relied on social networks have ignited the hope of hundreds of young Moroccans, encouraging them to attempt the impossible in search of a better life. A migratory wave of a feared intensity that triggered an immediate response from the Moroccan Spanish authorities. Put in alert, heavily armed security forces supported by armored vehicles took up positions at the border posts, which became the scene of clashes. Hundreds of arrests were made, particularly among minors from different regions of Morocco, such as Bni Milal and Casablanca.
فهاد البلاد هذه ما كاين ما يعجب ما كاين حتى شي حاجه الشباب خدام كيموتوا
Nothing works in this country. We work just to survive without any real perspective. The future evolution is impossible and stability is a luxury. That is why many of us dream of leaving and finding a place where we can find a decent and dignified life. Unemployment affects all sections of society, even those who have diplomas. We can no longer continue to live or survive in these conditions, so many Moroccans consider illegal immigration without the hope of finding better life elsewhere. We do not ask much, we simply want to find work in order to be able to afford a house and a car.
This episode occurs in a context of acute socio-economic crisis in Morocco, where the population is facing rampant unemployment, corruption at all levels, and a repressive regime incapable of responding to the aspirations of Moroccans, accentuating this collective distress. Illegal immigration is thus the only way out of poverty.
The Minister of Mujahideen and Right Holders reaffirmed on Saturday in Tipaza the unconditional support of Algeria to the Palestinian people victim of genocide by the Zionist entity. L'Aid Biga attended a ceremony organized on the occasion of Al-Mawlid al-Nabawi in honor of the injured Palestinian children and their families taken care of by the Rest Center of Mujahideen of Buharoun. The ambassador of the State of Palestine to Algeria, Fayez Abu Aita, also attended the ceremony. The genocide against the Palestinian people is still ongoing. The Zionist entity doesn't respect any religious day. 24 Palestinians were murdered in the last 24 hours in Gaza, thus increasing the number of martyrs to 41,206 since the beginning of the Zionist attacks. More than 2 million Palestinians are trying to survive in inhuman conditions. In the south of Lebanon, the Zionist entity dropped leaflets ordering the inhabitants to leave. And with this, we come to the end of our edition. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good night. Thank you.